Morning everyone. Look at that. Look at that for a view. Wow. So as you can see, it's the morning. And we're just commuting in to work on Thursday. My last day of the week for me. This is my Friday. 5:10. That's beautiful though. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you, all the comments. The channel's getting quite busy, which is nice. I've been doing more films, that's how. Or more films that folk seem to like. I guess that's the difference. So I'll work it out which way I'll go to work today. I'm going to go up to Whitekirk and take the back roads through towards the coast. This thing here says 40. They've actually calibrated it, I think, now, because it used to say 40 when you're doing 60. Yeah. So what's happening? Not much. Well, there is a lot happening, because we're now into June. So it's all go at work under 4 weeks till the Scottish Open. I'm still doing my 3-day week, of course, but there's a lot of overtime going for boys that want it. And look at that, look at the light. See the top of the crops are starting to change, and the barley anyway, and it's beautiful if you get a Sunday morning. I'm just taking it canny though, as always, on the commute, because I've been in the last 2 days, but last week I took the car every day. Sorry, 2 days this week I've been in the car, today I brought the bike. Deer, a lot of deer appearing at roadsides or seen them running across in front. And nobody wants to have a close encounter with one of them, that's for sure. So we're nearing the longest day. It was light when I got up this morning. I got up the back at 4 because I woke up before my alarm went off at 5:15, so just got up, drew the curtains straight away, it was light. Sunrise was 4:25 and sunset is 9:55 now. So it was light last night. I drew the curtains, I went to bed early. Well, 10 o'clock feels early when it's light, but not when you're up at back at 4 in the morning. I'm looking forward to this weekend coming up, because I'm off on a long distance expedition again. I'm riding on Friday on the southeast corner of Scotland. Well, I'm 30 miles from the border. I'm at Dunbar, and I'm riding to just before the northeast corner. So from one end of Scotland to the other. Let's go this way. Go up past the blacksmiths and let you see all these Suzukis, and he's got a couple of CJ Jeeps. So yeah, this is where I've seen the roe deer. I'm guessing they're going into the crop they're eating. So I'm going for another marathon stage, and the plan is, this time, I'm not going to flog myself going up. I'm going to leave it 9 in the morning, which will be the bypass rush hour starting to tail off. I might still have to filter traffic. But the reason I'm not getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning and leaving early is because I don't want to be needing to go to bed at 9 at night, 10 at night. Because what we're doing is I'm rendezvousing with G. She went away 2 days ago. She's away doing aircraft wrecks again, of course. And rendezvousing with her at Dunbeath. So she's booked her van into a caravan park there. So she's been using laybys. No, I think she used one up. She stayed at a beach car park where it's just a £7 donation. But she'll be every third day. I think she prefers to, obviously, like most people, get a shower and stuff. So she's off to a campsite. And CG. That's a CG5, isn't it? I think it is. I need to stop and speak to Mikey one day. He still hadn't seen my Jeep. That's a whole generation of blacksmiths that live there. And young lad, he's not that young now, but he's same age as boys at my work, pals with him. And as you probably remember saying, he welded up my original fat bike frame where it had a cracked seat tube. Nice guys. So which way to work? I go left, right, well, I call the Windmill Road. We'll go right up by Balgowan. That's what we'll do. So rather than talk about when I'm away over the weekend, I'll put to bed now. I was a bit sharp on my buying extras for this bike. And what I should have said was, I wouldn't, as I always say, spend £900 odd again on extras on a bike that was £4,000 new, because you can get one of these a year old for £3,000. So that's a third of the price of another one second hand. Anyway, the touring seat probably is okay, and I think it's back to me, how far can I actually now sit on a bike before I want to stop? And really, instead of wringing the neck out the fuel to 180 miles, 200 miles, just start looking after 130 miles, but fill it up for 150. Just you're topping the tank up at that. You're not down to reserve as such by 150 miles. I think that's long enough. And I'm looking at now I'll put it up on the screen because I've got it written down, but I can't remember. Distance up to Dalwhinnie, that's my first fuel stop. I think it's 135 miles. But we're going right up to Dunbeath, so from there we're going right up the A9, right up to Inverness, and then continuing, there's a camper van, all the way up to Brora. Are we stopping? I think we might be just before Wick Dunbeath is, can't remember. Anyway, there's a campsite there, and I've got till about roughly 5 PM to get there. Now I did think of just leaving early as normal, I do, and go to Perth and go and take the A93 up over Cairnwell Pass to Glenshee, and then get a breakfast and tea at the Shee Cafe, and then continue up over the left across the Tomintoul, which will then take me across to Nairn and then along to Inverness. And I could do that, but I also want to just do a run where I'm just doing, it sounds weird, but I want to do a run where I'm doing a boring run. So I'm just going to sit on the A9 and do a steady pace, steady miles, Why am I doing this? You're asking. It's telling me and telling my brain that I should be happy with a bike of this sort of power and going away on it. And I need to stop thinking about bigger bikes. But that's kind of went full circle this week, because I've actually, I think, come full circle. And I'll tell you how I've come full circle, is there's nothing new. Admittedly, there's a windmill there, see? There's nothing of interest to me. The new stuff is too techy. Fuel injection, ABS, yes, I'll have that. Brilliant. But too much up on the dash and all that. I don't want all that on a bike. What I refer myself to is stuff like the new Hemi 450. And I've been going over and over my head about adding a Hemi 411, one of the last ones, to try and pick up an as new one, which I will get for around £3,000. And there's a whole load of yous follow me and come on here and comment and say they've got a 411 and they've had nothing went wrong with it. They've had no problems, especially with the Euro 5 last ones they made. And I can actually refer to somebody, a friend, who bought one and then made a comment about it. He just commented slow in capital letters on his Facebook page. That's up to him though, that's fair enough. And he went and bought a new 450. That's fair enough as well. But I do think, if you're someone who's used to jumping on sports bikes and it's all about the power and everything, something like this or a Hemi 411 would be of no interest to you. But if you're of the mindset, you might be of a similar mindset to me, that's why you're here watching me on this, then you get what it's all about. And as I kept saying, it's not about screwing the arse out of a bike to get 80 mile an hour, it's about all the time. It's about just being able to nip up to 75 to get past traffic more safer without going too fast, if that makes any sense. You overtake a truck, you can get a truck, a car, or a truck. Oh, no way. Oh, that's alright. It's not the road I'm taking. Watch this corner, I always tell you that. It's the road further on that's closed. Pan tile roofs. Yeah, so anyway, talking about two things again, that's me. I'm guessing you're getting used to that if you're following me. Yeah, if you're happy with the speed of those bikes, then you'll actually love everything else about it. What do I want? Well, it's down to the running costs as well as the purchase costs of a bike. I've got to keep that back in mind that I'm working part-time now. I can't afford a bike with big expensive tyres, blah blah blah. I can afford tyres the same as this though, which is like a 120/18 rear, especially a trail tyre, which a Hemi uses. But the fact is I could change them myself, and the servicing, oil changes is dead easy on it, like this. So we'll see. Look at the colour of that light on the barley, that's beautiful. Well, you never thought, can you see it through the hedge? That's stunning. But anyway, it's a weekend away, but not having to camp. Not that I don't mind going camping, but we'll have my bivvy bag again with me, with my sleeping bag, and I've got an inflatable pillow and a mat in my bag. Because the worst scenario is something happens, puncture, it takes forever, blah blah blah, and I have to just doss the night somewhere. I've got my bivvy bag, I've got my midge net to put on if it's midges. You can sleep where I want. Look at that colour. It's beautiful. Have a wee look at that. Lovely. This is my usual bit where I stop and then sign out. So that's what I'm up to. Another weekend up north. And what I'm going to do is just cruise, try and cruise at 60. And see how we get on with the fuel consumption, blah blah blah. Because the bike's come up to 3 years old, so I've got to do a review on it. And I've got to give you something to watch. Look at that. It's amazing how last week's rain, just a steady drizzle that came in over the weekend, and everything has just really boosted. You can see everything jumping green at work. Yeah. As I say, I don't need to praise that bike anymore. It's it's good. As I said, shorter back mudguard is going to get done to get that wheel in and off. I'm going to work out how to move this up here, and this will probably, I'm not sure I'll do it, but the mudguard's going to end there. I might have to end up not using that mount. I'll work something out. I don't want to start totally changing stuff. I'll put another mudguard in, but I'm not hacking up stuff. Anyway, when we come back next week, I've just got a new set of K60 tyres. That's getting down, as you see. That's another reason to go up north. I've still got a good 500 plus miles on that tyre. It looks okay to a lot of yous, but it is flat. And I feel it on the ruts on the road, snowplow lines and stuff. So I'll have my fun as usual, struggling with the back wheel. And as always, those tyres are quite tough to fit. You want to do them warm, so it'll be a roasting hot day. Everyone's sitting in the back garden cooking, so I'll be sweating like a dafty. But I'll put them on next week, one night after work. And then we'll try and get it in for an MOT before the end of June. It's June the first week of July, so any time now onwards I can get one. Yeah. And I've got another tin of green paint. It's actually for the Jeep. And it's still again a different colour. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah. It's to be really windy today, but it's to come up from the south. But it's warm this now. I think it's about 18 degrees. It's to get up to this morning. And if you're out the wind, it'll feel a lot warmer than that in a garden or that. But I'll stop and fill this up after work, get home, get my roll bag packed, ready to go on, pack my extras into I've got that one's empty, into my ammo box. And I've got a bag that'll go in there. This will just be my sleeping stuff. And I forgot to put them in the van. I've got a pair of trainers and lightweight trousers, thinner socks, just stuff to change into, so I don't have to clunk about in my motorbike boots. So the plan is we're going to camp at Dunbeath, and then we're going up to Dunnet Bay campsite again actually. And we're going to catch up, and I'm going to actually meet for the first time Ross, he's a gunsmith. He's actually the most northerly gunsmith in the UK. And he has a couple of old motorbikes in his shop, and I'm sure he'll be happy for me to film them while he tells me all about them. One of them I'm sure his father raced, but one of them was raced, especially the 500. It was the 350 Norton. It was raced at the Isle of Man. So he's a Laverda man as well. He's got a lot of old Laverdas, so he's sort of met me through Facebook and me missing him when I did my last trip up there, and I never knew about him till I seen about him on another film. So anyway, G's going up that way to look at wreck sites. Now, before I go, I'd like you to go and look. If you're interested in wartime wrecks and stuff, please, 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 even if you don't watch it all the time, please subscribe to Glenda's channel. And it's called Glenda and the Pink War Rig. I'll put it up on the screen. The Pink War Rig is our pink fat bike she uses for cycle into wrecks and with me on the beach and stuff. The work she puts into research is amazing. And she also goes, if they're there, if they're locally buried, she goes to the graveyards to pay her respects to the crew. And she always leaves a woolen knitted poppy on the crash sites. And her channel, it's mostly photographs, wee bit video, to a bit of music. And the films are usually 3-4 minutes long. She does films on her Monroe walking as well, or out with me on the push bikes. But it's another YouTube channel that's so underrated and underviewed. And I'm going to do a film. I'm going to write down a list of channels that I follow that hardly get any views. The films get 200-300 views. And folks should go and support the small channels. And a lot of them, you'll learn a lot more about stuff than your big YouTubers who are just, well, I just don't watch them anymore because they're boring. And it's just about product placement and trying to sell you free stuff or get you to buy stuff that they get free to review. Anyway, on that note, I'm off. I've got work to go to. There's always sun that I've took out and I've not fastened. There you go. Right then, folks, I'll let you hear this one last time. Brilliant, eh? Oh, love it. Okay. Hope the sun comes out, burns all this off today, we get some sunshine. Meanwhile, you all have a good weekend. Take care. And yeah, enjoy yourselves. It's summer. Okay, bye.